problems. Woo! We are recording. We're live from Austin and Cleveland. Dun 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 dun. Good. Yes, that's great. That's how all songs should end. Duh.
Just a very unsure flat note.
Picture like every song in Hamilton getting you so built up. Duh.
But I mean, if Lin-Manuel Miranda does it, then it's cool.
That's true. That's true. Please listen to this podcast.
I mean, if whoever the guy that played King George, if he does it, then I'm like, I will love it forever. I literally listened to his first song on loop.
Oh my god. Crazy Hamilton lovers. Actually, I haven't seen it yet, so
Oh, I watched it on Disney Plus.
It's on my list. I just I have to be like in the mood to watch a musical. Like I know it's really good and I'm really excited for it, but I don't know. I want to pay attention to it. So,
yeah.
I have to be in the mood. Anyways, guys, this is Millennial Monologue.
Oh yeah, we forgot to say that. That's Morgan Humberg right over there.
That's Casey Lowenthal. And this is Millennial Monologue, and it's a podcast. So,
but I think you knew that since you were listening to this, where you listen to podcasts. But maybe you didn't.
Do you know what all podcasts need?
I don't know.
Casey, I was sending you mental messages, but they need cue theme music.
Oh.
We're a little dead.
I thought you were saying, I'll podcast me? Or I'll podcast me, like the joint?
Yes. This is a podcast about knees.
Next season, we'll talk about elbows.
Mine will probably be creaky by then, as I get every day closer to 30.
Keep us going for a third season. We'll talk about hips.
Woo! When I get mine replaced. That'll be good.
Yes. Well, Morgan.
Yeah.
I think you're here to tell us about the environment.
I mean, that's
how
the
I
story.
spell it whenever I have to spell it.
That's the story that my mom tells me every time we talk about the day I was born. She says, "You were born just to tell us about the environment." So, kind of nervous to tell it because I feel like once I do, I won't be needed anymore.
Oh, so you should only tell us part of it today, and you should make this a series.
Yeah, definitely. I think I should break it up. I think the Earth needs me for just a little bit longer, you know.
Yeah.
Just a little.
The Earth is like, Morgan, we're heating up.
Heating up for sure. Even during a pandemic, surprisingly.
It's almost like the corporations are to blame and not so much the individual people.
Casey, I feel like you've been reading things.
Your mind.
You're so good.
So do you have a title for your series? I know you just decided that you're doing a series because the Earth needs you.
Yeah. I mean, last night I had a dream and the Earth spoke to me.
So you're like Joan of Arc. You're the Joan of Arc of climate change.
Oh dear, I don't know if I can relive moments of Joan of Arc for certain theater reasons that happened freshman year. Blink, 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 blink. I'm blinking SOS. Yeah, I've been thinking, and I thought about maybe calling it Curbing Climate Change.
Okay, we love alliteration.
That's possibly a temporary title, but
okay, it's a working title.
Yeah, but I guess there's also like just so many aspects of trying to save the environment and the only planet that we can efficiently live on currently in this galaxy. So because there's climate change and there's overall the environment, and of course there's the sea levels and overall marine life, and then of course you have trees and deforestation. I mean, they're all linked, but I feel like people think of climate change and the environment as almost two separate things, which is dumb, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever. We'll continue on. Anyways, Casey, the earth came to me last night in a dream
Yes.
and said, "Stop taking acid and get off your ass." No.
Well, I'm curious, when the Earth came to you, was it like a little like cartoon Earth? Was it like the picture that you see from the moon? Was how did she look? How's she doing? Does she still look green?
She's not great. No, she's a little dry, little dehydrated. Could use some more water and some support. She's all right though. Definitely a cartoon figure. Not quite like Captain Planet though. You know,
Okay.
not like that cartoony, but definitely a circle or a sphere. I'm sorry, forgive me, a sphere with a face.
Well, I know we've got water, but we kind of need to put some of that back into the ice, right?
Kinda, yeah, yeah. Cause definitely, there's not a lot of ice left, and we're not talking about the ice coming out of your fridge. But the ice that other animals need to live on. This is actually interesting. I'm going to go slightly off topic, but also on topic for a second. So I don't know if you've ever seen the show Celebrity. I think it's Celebrity House Party is what it's called. It's where people like watch new TV shows and you watch the reactions. It's super millennial based, where you watch people watch things.
There was one of those that I liked. It was on Bravo.
Yeah,
I forget
it was
what
like
it's called.
Couch something, or I
I
think
know
which
what
one.
I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah. But anyways, I was watching one of those, and one of the shows, they usually watch a National Geographic show every other episode or so. So, you watch an animal hunt another animal. And in the Arctic, some animals use the ice as protection against other animals. Let's say penguins against seals. It's not a very pretty sight to see, but seals can't really, not that they can't go on the ice, but I'm trying to remember which kind of seal it is.
Is it the leopard seal? Aren't
I
those the ones that eat penguins?
believe so, yes. They're the really, really vicious ones. But they can't like go up and over the ice. So the penguins have to go from ice cube to ice cube to stay away. And the less ice there is, the less protection that they have, which means that their population decreases and the seal's population increases. So, again, slightly off topic, but on topic because it just kind of proves a point that we are destroying the environment and therefore other habitats of animals that some people may not care about. But penguins are important. Not sure how, but
they're so important because I don't know. I think about it a lot, and this is going to be my quick 2 cents before I just let you run with this because I'm so excited to listen to what you have to say.
Oh, dear.
Since getting more into spirituality and realizing that everything is connected and everything works together, Earth is such a genius design in every single aspect, except when greed and capitalism and laziness fucks it up. But like, so clearly penguins are here because they need to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely do some research as to what penguins are actually here for, besides being cute. Because I mean, they're super cute and they make great movies.
Do they also keep the fish populations in control because they're part of that food chain? But I'm gonna get you off track. Like, but we're overfishing, so then the penguins don't have fish, and then the penguins are dying because of lack of fish and lack of ice, and then the seals can't eat the penguins. Oh my goodness, everything's connected. It goes all the way to the top.
Yep. There's definitely food chain issues, which yeah, is a deeper dive for sure.
But I do have a quick ice question. So you hear a lot, or I hear a lot about the ice on the northern ice cap, the North Pole ice melting. I'm assuming the same thing is happening in the South Pole, the Antarctica, but I don't hear a lot about it. And I guess I don't know what makes that a continent. I don't know if you can answer that. And like,
what makes it a continent? That's a great question.
if ice is melting as rapidly there, or if it's, I don't know.
I mean, I think, and this is a thing question. I'm gonna research this and do a follow up with actual facts, factual information. But I think it's because Antarctica is like an actual like land mass.
Okay.
Kind of like in the same way that like Hawaii, is a state built by volcanoes. I think
Hmm.
that's kind of the same
Or
for
like a
Antarctica.
Greenland situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Whereas up north, it's really, I mean, it's just ice, it's just icebergs
Okay.
that just melt and then they're gone. There's nothing like underneath to hold it in. Um,
You
which
mean
is also why
I
they
can't stick it
migrate.
in my cooler?
Huh?
I can't stick it in my cooler and save it?
I mean, you could, because once it makes its way down here, it's small enough.
Laugh so you don't cry.
Exactly. But yeah, polar caps are an important topic that deserve their own uh, episode for sure, because it's a big deal, and I feel like a lot of people misunderstand it, and they're like, "Well, ice will last forever," but it won't. Just because winter here doesn't mean that climate change doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, um, today on curbing climate change,
Yes.
I just kind of wanted to, go over how the current pandemic situation is affecting climate change, because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about that, especially since we're going back into the quote unquote normal life, or we're starting to reopen things. Um, and a lot of people think that because of the shutdown that we've actually helped to improve, like decrease air pollution and help kind of overall not kill the environment more, like we have been. But fact, there was only a 5% decrease in pollution in the year span since like last year. There's been a 5% decrease. That's it. So
Wow.
out of all the people, like, because I know it sounds like, oh my God, at least we decreased, but you have to think about all the people on Earth. Like, this is billions of people we're talking about, and the shutdown everywhere only caused a 5% change. That's it.
Which would lead one to believe that it's almost
Yeah, we're
like,
healing the Earth.
well, it's almost like, oh, it makes you think that, yeah, like I shouldn't be getting straws everywhere I go, but maybe there are bigger problems.
Hmm. 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 But I mean, that's just kind of one of the main things from it. And the worst part is that we are starting to open back up. So all of that change that we created by staying home and not driving so much is about to just be, completely wiped out. Like, it almost kind of doesn't even matter. But it proves that if we change what we do, which we can successfully do, that we have proven so far, we can help. We can help the environment just a little, but a little by little, we get even better. I don't know if I want to start with the positives or the negatives, or if I want to mix them up in between. Let's start with the negatives.
Okay.
Let's go over the things that people probably don't know, that have been happening while we've all been staying indoors. So one of the biggest things that I've read about while we were all stuck indoors is that they've been like lessening their restrictions on, or at least their, whatchamacallit, their watch on people going out and doing illegal deforestation. They haven't been able to enforce. They haven't been able to
Yes.
enforce any of that. And there has been a 64% increase in illegal wood chopping.
No.
Yes. 64% in the Amazon, which is crazy. That's a lot of wood, and people are just getting away with it. And the same thing goes for like miners being places that they shouldn't be, probably protected habitats. So, killing species, that fun
And
stuff.
we already lost so much of the Amazon from the fires last year.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. But
Oh my
people
God.
don't know what's happening because, I mean, especially with, I'm going to say, with the election going on and everything, everyone's all focused on that, and the media is nowhere near trying to help people discover that us staying indoors does not prevent the earth from dying.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just so everyone knows, trees give us oxygen. They're the biggest
Oh,
fighters of air pollution. So, anyways, because of that, greenhouse gases have actually increased during the pandemic because we haven't had anybody to fight it. So, feel good about yourselves. Um,
color me stressed. That's a merch idea right there.
color me
We're gonna
stressed.
flag that.
Noted. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And then kind of on the commercial side of things, there's definitely a lot of things you made a mention on how like bigger companies are kind of raking in money during this time, like oil and gas companies, even though we aren't like driving as much. Um, they've been able to take part in some of those government assistance programs that they probably don't need. So that supports them further. And of course, since people have been indoors, we haven't been able to indulge ourselves in like installing solar panels and wind turbines. So people are just pretty much, you know, staying at home and using a bunch of resources that they probably don't need. Which actually kind of takes me back to the start of the pandemic when people like went out to stores and just started buying everything. Like people who, you know, never drank powdered lemonade in their life suddenly felt the need to buy all of the powdered lemonade before anybody else, which is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And that, you know, the toilet paper shortage, which was ridiculous. Like, how does that become the first need of civilization? Toilet paper. The one
I
thing we definitely didn't have in the beginning.
I heard that it's like a comfort and security thing.
Oh, people squeeze it at night? I mean, it is pretty soft.
Oh yeah, I use mine as pillows.
But I guess it kind of, I'll insert some positives in here. I think because of the shortages, people have been trying to look more at like more eco-friendly products that they can purchase. Which unfortunately, it's true that a lot of the eco-friendly stuff is, you know, probably like 5 cents more expensive than what you're used to buying. But it's just because there are a lot of marketers out there right now who are trying to rake it in on, oh, it's eco-friendly and la la la.
One all greenwashing and everything.
Mm-hmm. But I need people to know that like you have to think that eco-friendly means that you probably aren't going to have to buy as much of it as you were the other stuff. Like, you know, glass bottles. You probably pay more for a glass bottle than you do for a plastic, but glass you can wash and reuse. Plastic, you can sometimes. That's also another episode. There are many different kinds of plastics that people are confused about, which is fine because there's tons of them and you're allowed to be confused because society is confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like that's the reason why sometimes eco-friendly products are just priced higher, like the bamboo silverware or whatever. It's something that you're not going to have to replace for a long time. That's why. Back on the track though, that I was going to say. So toilet paper, there is actually it's going to sound gross at first, but like recycled toilet paper as in like
Mm-hmm.
eco-friendly toilet paper. So not only is it healthier for your septic systems, which is great for all of you homeowners, but also a lot of them are like made out of bamboo and recycled materials. Or if you have the money to get a bidet, I've heard that they're great. I have never used one personally, but you could eliminate paper altogether, which means you're a star.
Gold star. Yeah,
We
when I get a
appreciate
house, I want to get a bidet, even though I also have never used one.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
like, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a little scary. Like it's a scary concept, but it's basically the same as getting a shower. Just the water's coming from the opposite direction.
Well, and it's very common in many other parts of the world.
That's true. That's
Um,
true.
but yeah, back to what you were saying. I've been practicing seeing the good that comes out of everything, and I think this pandemic and a lot of the things that have come with it are really forcing everyone to look at things in a new way, and like at home gardens and things like that, and
Hmm.
bidets and recycling. And but yes, please continue.
Yeah.
You're on a roll.
I mean, you're right, because people are like searching for other resources because people were buying things like crazy for no apparent reason, which is also it's technically one of the negatives of the pandemic against the environment because when you buy things you don't need, you're either A, going to throw them out and therefore have wasted its entire purpose, or B, somebody bought it that doesn't know how to properly recycle it, so it's going to go into landfill anyways. It's just, I mean, there's many different outcomes of it, but it was one of the things that actually harmed the environment was people buying all the stuff that they don't need. Therefore, it probably expired before they used it or whatever, whatnot. And another unfortunate thing that came out of that was people weren't buying as many like fresh ingredients. So all the fresh fruits and everything, unfortunately, did not get where they needed to go, which created a chain reaction of more local stuff closing down. And unfortunately, the local shops and everything are more likely to be eco-friendly than the big chain companies, which is great. And if you live in some place like Austin, you're lucky enough to have like bulk stores like you see on those fancy Facebook videos where everyone goes, oh, I'd shop at one of these. But let's be honest, would you really? Would you break your routine to go shop just to avoid the plastic bag? No, you probably wouldn't. Why? Because it's inconvenient. This is also a note for another podcast. This is Morgan ranting. But anyways, I'm gonna try to reel myself in. Just going off of grocery stores. The other thing that the pandemic created was people not going out, and there was that fear of like passing germs with each other. So reusable tote bags and everything that people started using came to a halt. The curbside program, which is great for people who literally cannot go in the stores, and they get stuff delivered. I know our local chain does paper bags, which is great because they're obviously more recyclable than plastic bags. Common misconception, you can recycle plastic bags. You really can't. But the other thing that the pandemic did was because people weren't using their bags, a lot of those plastic bag bans, that was hard to say for some reason. Those plastic bag bans where everyone complained that they'd have to pay 5 cents for their bags actually got repealed because so many people needed plastic bags, which also can carry the same number of contaminants that your reusable tote that you brought from your own home environment can carry. So that was an unfortunate thing. But positive, bringing this back around, because people weren't going out much, our beaches have actually been the cleanest they've been in a long time because nobody's out there polluting. Like, we still get stuff dumped in the ocean from the landfills, but like the beaches themselves, nobody's leaving their plastic bottles behind or plastic frisbees or whatever because nobody's there. So wildlife is like, yeah, enjoying life. Except for the poor jellyfish who seem to wash ashore in Florida all the time, but that's Florida. Sorry. I'm also somewhat of a Debbie Downer occasionally. It's fine.
Debbie Downer. She actually made everybody laugh in that SNL skit.
She was the star. Wah, wah. So I don't want it to seem like the pandemic technically made the environment worse, but it's opened people's eyes, but it's also allowed people to get away with things that they shouldn't, like repealing plastic bag bans that were obviously put in place for a reason. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to think, well, it's just the earth, we can turn it around, but we can't, guys. This is the planet. This is the planet that we have. I mean, we've been exploring Mars or whatnot, but there's no oxygen. And I don't know if you've seen The Martian with Matt Damon, but you can't grow stuff there. You can't. So if you thought we could just plant some trees and be fine, you would be wrong.
Well, and also the thing that always gets me with we'll just ruin this one and go to a new one. It's like, okay, but if you didn't learn your lesson, you're just going to ruin that next one too.
Yep, you're right. And it's unfortunate. And then you also have, and I hate to say it, but I feel like the older generation is like, well, we're going to die soon anyways. We're going to die long before any of this has any effect on us. So we're just going to leave it to you to fix it. But that's wrong, guys. That's super wrong. Because number one, our environment not only, helps us breathe, but it also keeps the bad contaminants from getting into us as well. So the less we care about it, the faster we're going to start dying again. Sorry to tell you, but you could not heat your food up in plastic containers all you want and still get cancer. It's way worse. Sorry about you. Again, Debbie Downer. See, this is just
it's
so
important.
much down.
It's important to be a realist and if you don't see things, you can't acknowledge things, and if you can't acknowledge things, you can't change things.
Right. And if you listen to Casey in the last podcast, which you should have, because it's important to listen to all of these episodes.
Every single one.
Right. It's not about shaming you. We're not saying that you're a terrible person for using a plastic straw or not having paid attention before. But it's important that you learn. It's important that you research, learn, see what you can do, and start taking those steps to help improve. Because even if it doesn't help your generation at the moment, you can help future generations and ensure that society lives on, unlike the dinosaurs.
All those dinosaurs using plastic straws.
Damn dinosaurs. And then a meteor came and killed them all. See? God smited them. Sorry, that was definitely religious.
That was true. That's what that was. That was true.
Fact. Bible. But anyways, so it's just important to know about this stuff and find ways to change it. So even though the pandemic kind of brought a lot of this stuff on, there are ways we can kind of curb it. Bringing it back in there. Bringing it back in. So again, one of the things the pandemic did was force us to stay inside. So we have a lot of online ordering, fast food. And what does fast food do but produce lots of waste? Lots of organic waste, lots of inorganic waste. Either way, there's a bunch of shit going into a landfill. And the one thing I notice, which I think that restaurants need to be better on, is plastic silverware. I get so annoyed by plastic silverware, especially when I order and get it delivered to my home. Because in my mind, I'm like, I have silverware at home, so I don't need you to provide me with silverware. And also in that special order box or whatever, that little text box at the end where they're put in special instructions. They must never read that, because I always put in all caps, no silverware. Do not give me silverware.
Oh no.
And they do. And unfortunately, when it comes to the no contact delivery stuff, you can't send it back. There's nothing you can do with it. And that stuff is pretty much too small to recycle anyways. So it's going to go in a landfill. But side note, if you're going through a drive-through or if you go into the restaurant to pick it up, you can give that silverware back, or you can refuse it. You can outright refuse it, just like you can straws. Same sort of thing there. Everyone's on the straw game, which is fine. We should all be paying attention to how much liquid we drink through plastic. Isn't that a weird statement?
But also something that none of us ever think about, but is so true.
Yeah, because we definitely eat out of a lot of plastic, but yet we don't think about how much liquid we just suck up through a plastic straw. But the plastic silverware is kind of on the same thing. You can refuse it as long as it's not directly delivered to your home. But another thing on that, when you order food, you probably shouldn't get drinks. First of all, you can have drinks at home. I'm saving you money, people. These are money-saving tips. You have drinks at home. You could go to the store. I hate to encourage this, but you could buy bottled tea, bottled lemonade. You can recycle those. But you know what you can't recycle? Wax-covered cups from restaurants, which is pretty much all of them. Even those styrofoam cups that you're using, if it's got wax on it, they can't recycle it. So you can throw it in the recycling bin, but it just goes in the trash at the recycling plant. So, pat on the back for that one. But anyways, save some money by making your own drinks at home. Don't order from a restaurant, because most likely the only thing you can recycle is that plastic lid on the cup. And again, the smaller the plastic, the less likely you'll be able to recycle it, which is why, yes, you can technically recycle plastic straws. So if you get one, you should throw it in the recycling bin. But
make sure you clean it.
Yes, clean it. Oh my God, yes.
You can't recycle anything with food waste.
No, you cannot. You can compost it, though. That's okay. So that's another thing. How to properly recycle, episode 45.
Episode 46, why most recycling is a lie.
Yeah. But anyways, it's the point I'm trying to get at here is it's the small stuff. So I know the one time you refuse a straw and use your own straw, it seems like such a small thing and that you're not making a difference, but it's kind of on the same page as voting. A lot of people say that, you don't vote because it doesn't matter, but it does matter. You refusing that one straw, not using the plastic silverware, it matters. because you'll pass it along to somebody else who pass it along to somebody else. And I mean, that's one of the most important things that this pandemic has kind of taught us. Like, even though social media is so controversial in the news it shares, it's important to share what you learn. It's important you learn, then share factual information so that other people can learn.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things about how we can help save the environment is by sharing. Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Anyways, to kind of get off my rant about plastic and food, another thing that really annoyed me, what really grinds my gears during this pandemic, is the amount of disinfectant wipes that I know have been used. Guys, we can't recycle that. All of those giant containers of Clorox and off-brand disinfectant wipes go straight into a landfill. I mean, come on. Here's the thing. We have lots of things made out of this material called cotton, and we usually call them cloths or even towels, which surprisingly can be washed and reused. It's amazing. One of the things, and this is something that I'm reading about because I'm definitely trying to get on this train of like making my own cleaning supplies. And I know there are a couple of actually like eco-friendly cleaning supply companies out there, which are really cool and legit. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking into that as far as laundry stuff because I'm switching to wool dryer balls too, which is really exciting. Yes. Because I'm getting rid of those dryer sheets. They're a big offender. There's probably something in your house that you can use to disinfect stuff. And you can, like I said, there's plenty of eco-friendly cleaning companies where you can reuse bottles instead of constantly buying bottles of Windex, which, I mean, Windex heals all, but...
Only the Greeks.
Yes. But I think it scares people to think, oh, I'm using this towel to clean more than one thing and it's already wiped up germs, so it's dirty and like useless. And I'd rather use, for some reason, single-use cloths that I can just continuously pull out of a plastic container as I slowly get angrier and angrier. But let me tell you guys, towels, like using a towel or what do they call it, like washcloths or something, does the same as a disinfectant wipe. And you know what? You wash that towel and then you reuse it. After you wash it, it's clean. There's no germs. Mm-hmm. Magic. It's a kind of magic. But that's something that we can kind of start trying to do, is switching from those single-use towels, paper towels. Oh my God, paper towels are a big offender. I need an episode just what really grinds Morgan's gears, cleaning products edition.
Maybe you should you should have a sub-series within the Curb Climate Change. It's just big offenders.
Then I'll need to put sound effects and it's like offender number 3.
Yes.
Paper towels. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, if you look around your house, you definitely have materials that you can use in place of that. And there are plenty of online resources to help you make your own cleaning supplies. Baking soda is a huge thing that people overlook. Although I noticed that there were a lot of baking soda shortages during the pandemic, which is good because that means people are probably using it for baking. But also cleaning. Before you buy that last Clorox container on the shelf, think about what you have at home that you could use to disinfect your door handles or whatever and whatnot. I don't know what you have in your house. That's totally your personal information.
You probably have door handles.
You probably have door handles. Unless you have a phobia of doors, which is a thing. But no, there's lots of reusable products that you can use instead. And again, plenty of resources online that you can check out. And surprisingly, Pinterest is a really great resource to use for just different ways to do things, more eco-friendly ways to do things, and all of those special cleaning chemical formulas. You can feel like a scientist. You could do science projects with your kids in your homeschool and be like, today we're going to learn how to make Windex. Off-brand Windex.
That sounds so fun.
It does, doesn't it? Almost as good as glue slime.
Almost.
Almost. So anyways, that's just kind of like small steps we can take. Another small step that you can take is, drumroll please, cut down your energy. Yay!
Yay!
Anytime you're not in a Zoom meeting or on the clock, you can shut down your computer, you can shut down your TV, you can shut off the lights. You don't have to constantly run your dishwasher, which I don't know why you would, but that's, some people like to wash their dishes a lot. I don't know. But another way to save energy and water is to also take shorter showers. I know this is like a big controversy because people are like, I would save the environment, but I can't stand a cold shower. Look and listen. I'm not asking you to take a cold shower. I know it's difficult. I don't take a cold shower. I also don't reuse water yet. I'm sure I'll get to that point of hippieism, but
yeah, Morgan and I want to like live off the land and live in the woods at some point. So please remember this as you listen to us.
It's gonna happen. But even though you're stuck inside, look, if you're not going out that much, what do you need to take a long shower for? How much bacteria are you washing off of your body? I mean, let's be honest. You really just need to make yourself smell good for your roommates. Even then, if you don't want them to sit next to you, just don't shower. It's fine.
Or you just take one of those quick showers where you clean what you need to and bada bing, bada boom, you are done.
Take a horse bath.
Yeah.
Clean the important parts. But really, there are a lot of ways. Like recently, I've started doing where you do the full rinse. You get in the shower, do the full rinse, shut the water off.
Okay.
Shampoo. Do all the bathing stuff. Get yourself all soapy. Hope I'm not turning anybody on talking about my shampoo.
Oh, your soap.
All of my soap. Turn the water back on, rinse off. Once you rinse, turn it off. If you're one of those people who just likes to sit in the steam, and I get it because I'm one of those people, I'm really congested all the time. So yeah. So those first couple of times you can get that steam going. You can kind of stand there. You know what I also like to do? I don't know if anybody else likes to do this, but if you like have a bathtub and you kind of clog the drain for a little bit so that some water builds up, so you have some nice warm water on your feet, and you just stand there, you soak in the steam, but you're not using any excess water. Isn't it great?
I like that.
Right?
And you get a bonus foot bath.
You didn't have to freeze your hair follicles to grow. And it's just little, it's simple things. And again, guys, you won't believe it, but it's a money saver.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you were talking earlier, is true sustainability really does save money because like you buy one jar and then you use it infinitely. Or like that t-shirt that you don't know what to do with anymore, cut it up in its rags. Like that was free. And there's a lot of greenwashing because capitalism, and you don't need fancy stuff. Like,
no.
Use what you already have. Any of those to-go containers that you're getting, see if you can reuse it.
Again, that would be in a follow-up because there are definitely plastics you can reuse and other plastics you cannot.
Yes.
Fun fact, though, did you know that black plastic is actually pretty much unrecyclable, and it's the worst plastic for you to use to heat up your food, but it's the most popular plastic for food places because it makes your food look more appetizing.
I'm sorry, that was the sound of my mind blowing.
We're going to get like a comment that just says, I had to go to the hospital because my mind exploded.
Yes.
But yeah, again, that was just a whole episode on plastics, guys. There's so much you don't know. There's so much I don't know yet, but it's one thing that I'm very passionate about. Plastic. Get rid of it.
Lack thereof.
But I'm gonna try and kind of wrap this up. So just to kind of bounce off what you said on like reusing stuff, since we're all stuck indoors, now is the time to do your spring cleaning. All the stuff that you don't wear and could donate to like Goodwill or whatever, great, clean that shit out. all the stuff you don't wear and that is definitely too ratty to donate to Goodwill, your bras and everything, you can actually you can cut them up and use them as rags to do the disinfecting that I mentioned earlier. Everything can be reused. It's amazing. Except for single-use disinfecting wipes. You cannot reuse them. But it goes back to don't buy what you don't need because you probably have it in your home. You'd be surprised. Oh, and also to finish it up, since we started with such a devastating fact of deforestation, while you're home, you should try to plant some stuff. I tried to. It's starting to grow. Granted, it is a little bit past planting season for some people that live in states like mine and probably the Midwest because it's starting to become winter. But I'm currently trying to grow basil and lavender and rosemary because they all repel mosquitoes.
Nice.
Yes. See, that's a good thing about plants, guys, is that they all do something beneficial. Besides providing oxygen and good stuff for us to breathe in, they do other things. Like there's a tons of random plants that do cool stuff. Yeah. Like catnip will give you a giant yard of cats. Just put it in your backyard.
It's magical.
And they appear. But no, it's really cool because definitely, I forget which one it is, but I planted those 3 specifically because I know they all repel mosquitoes, but some of them repel ticks and flies, and there are a couple others. But just, the stuff that people don't usually enjoy. Plants can actually help that. It's amazing. So while you're at home and you have the time to water and watch them, and it's also a really cool project to do with your kids or your friends. I don't know, maybe you want to do some planting with your friends. Jared sent a picture of his plant to his friend, and he was like, look what I'm growing. And then he was like, look at my marijuana leaf. And okay. But anyways.
Please grow legal things, depending on your state. But also, to bounce off Morgan, it's really cool and really important, especially if you're planting for landscape and things like that. Plant native plants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do your research before you plant plants, because I really wanted to plant bamboo, but it turns out it's a really invasive species. Some of them are. There are like hundreds of different kinds of bamboo, but I knew it was like safe for dogs, so I was trying to figure out a way to plant it. But you're right, there are only some bamboo that can grow in Texas, and also invasive plant species are not fun. Not at all. Your neighbors will be very mad.
Well, and they disrupt all different parts of the environment.
Yes.
And native plants are the best plants for your area because they're supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It brings in all the right animals. You won't confuse any birds when they're migrating and they're trying to get to Florida, and suddenly there's an orange tree in Colorado and they're like, oh, I'm gonna stop here, and then they freeze to death, and then it's all on you. So sorry.
Oh no.
Kidding. I don't think you can grow oranges in Colorado. That's probably not the thing. But you're right. Yeah, plant native. Again, do your research. There's tons of stuff online. There are plenty of horticultural fans out there who are happy to provide all sorts of information. And I'm sure there's tons of Facebook groups too that you can join, and people will help you get a green thumb, literally or figuratively. But I mean, there's so much you can do that's fun to save the environment. It's not a boring thing, especially reusable straws. Yeah.
Can I say a fun thing I want to do when I get a house?
Yes.
That a lot of people will probably think is weird, but I think it's really cool, and I think more people should do it. When I get a house, I want to transition my lawn to moss because it's much more low maintenance and it takes a lot less resources. And you don't have to cut it, and you don't have to water it, and it looks really cool.
Moss also feels really good on your feet when you walk on it. That's good. That's a good, yeah. I might do that. I'm going to steal that.
We're all just cultivating hippies.
It's good, though. But, I mean, there's so much cool stuff you can do that's good for the environment. Reusable straws, they make them cooler every day. Just don't buy thousands of reusable straws because that kind of ruins the purpose. And if you're scared to take it to restaurants with you, don't be. I take mine to restaurants with me all the time, and every time I get a compliment by the waiters and they're literally I'll come in with a bag of reusable straws, and they're like, "Are those your own straws?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "That's so cool," and I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you." Thank you so much. Now that I'm blushing over my coolness. I've
Yes.
never been cool in my life.
Morgan's always cool. Don't listen to her.
But I mean, there's just so much you can do. We have to take care of what we live on because it's all we have. You know, we can't just not care about it. We can't make fun of it. It's a real thing. Lots of cool things you can do. Even in quarantine, you can give yourself a quarantine haircut and ensure that you take a shorter shower because you'll definitely have less hair after that. But no, I'm really excited to talk environment stuff with you guys. I hope you enjoy my ranting. Slowly but surely, there will be more swear words, and I'm not trying to blame anyone for the death of the environment, but I'm going to blame you. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully,
We're gonna blame corporate America
hell
and
yes.
all the corporations.
Hopefully I give you some tips and tricks because I'm still learning in my own life as well. I'm trying to become completely plastic free. As I said before, I mean, I use dryer sheets and they're terrible. They're god awful, but I'm switching to wool dryer balls, so that's fun. Just little things at a time. I no longer use plastic straws, which is great. I love it. It makes me feel so good. I'm like, a turtle's alive because of me.
Yes.
Is that selfish? Maybe. But yeah, there's a lot. And like Casey said earlier, there's a lot of stuff just happening with actual continents that are breaking down and weird stuff that we'll get into. It's a lot. There's a lot there. But I'm ready to discuss it. Oh, also, before I forget, since this is pandemic focused, I don't know if anybody watched Shark Week, but one thing that they mentioned during Shark Week was they had a lot of shows that focused on marine life responding to people not being out more, and sharks have been more aggressive. So they have been reclaiming their land because people have been backing away.
Their waterland.
More on that
Interesting.
as the story evolves. But yeah, it's people probably didn't think, they probably just thought, oh, people are driving less, so you know the environment's saved. But there's a lot to dig into. So yeah, I think I've been ranting for a while, so I'm gonna let people's ears rest. And that's curbing climate change.
Thank
With
you, Morgan.
With your reporter, Morgan. Dun, 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 dun.
Eh. And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
And that's the way, I like it. Thank you, Jim Carrey.
And Steve Carell.
Yes. I love Bruce Almighty.
Yes.
Evan
that's a good
Almighty
one.
was okay, but Bruce Almighty was bomb diggity.
Tops.
10 out of 10 recommend. Anyways, Casey, did I bore you yet? I know
that
you
was
left
all
for most
fascinating.
of that.
It was fascinating and scary and empowering and enlightening.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just a normal person like everyone listening, so I'm going to make mistakes, and I do, but I hope everyone wants to learn with us.
The important part is that you try.
Yes. There is... Oh, wait, I guess that saying is there is only do, no try.
Yoda.
That doesn't work. Sorry, Yoda.
We're not in Star Wars. We're still on Earth.
No. But the point is that you care and that you realize that there's a problem and that we need to fix the problem. We can't just let it slide.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, God. But yeah, like, your voice is important. Make your voice heard. Contact your representatives. Yeah. They are literally there to serve you despite what they have tried to turn positions into. They're civil servants. If you like a company and you want to support them, but you want them to change something they do, reach out to them. That's one of the beauties of social media, is you can actually talk with companies and say, hey, I love your product, but I won't buy it until you're more sustainable. Or ask them questions about their sustainability and their impact and what they're doing. Like, Amazon, I think, is trying to go carbon neutral by 2030.
Yes.
Which will be a huge help. It would be great if they were carbon negative, but...
Yeah, you can't have it all.
That's asking. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can do research and bring stuff to your own company, even like start a recycling program or just bring awareness to it. You can research solar panels, and I know wind turbines are controversial, so I'm not going to go into them right now, but Again, solar panels are one of those things where it seems like a whole hell of a lot of money, but you should just read the reviews on how much money people save after installing them. I mean, it's a crazy amount. They're using less energy, one, and number two, they're not paying these big ass electric companies in order to operate. So this is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff out there.
Yeah. And we also acknowledge that like everybody's in different points on their journey of what they can do and what they're able to do for like so many different reasons. But again, it goes back to do what you can.
Yep.
It makes a difference.
Start small. I always tell people start with the straws. Just, it seems like such a small thing because it is. But the more you do it, the more somebody else does it, the more 30 other people do it. I'm telling you, it helps. If I feel cool bringing my own straws, everyone else is going to feel cool.
Yeah, and you can still use straws because straws are fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, reusable straws. They do the same thing. I know a lot of people are like, well, metal straw is cold and yada, yada, yada. And mind you, you shouldn't be using straws to drink hot liquids. I don't know why people do that, but it's such a mystery to me.
I think it's because they don't want to stain their teeth.
I mean, this is a rant for another day. But I'm telling you that a metal straw keeps the cold. So when you suck it up, you get nice cold liquid. So if you're having a really hot day, there's a pro. There's a positive to using it. But again, there's other types of reusable straws too. So lots that are the dishwasher safe. So those people who are complaining about shoving the little bristles through the straw, just throw it in your dishwasher. Lots of solutions. Do your research. But we'll continue this. This will be a continuous thing. I'm just very passionate about it, so I can't stop rambling. So Casey's gonna have to cut me off.
Morgan, where can they all listen to us and hear more about when you drop more curb climate change episodes?
Drop pods.
Mopods.
Let me tell you, Casey, they can listen to us through headphones. No, they can they can, first of all, they can check us out, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe on Facebook. They can find us at Millennial Monologue, Instagram at Millennial Monologue Podcast, Twitter at Millennial Mopod. They can also email us at millennialmonologuepodcast@gmail.com. We're always up for topic ideas, new research, facts that you found that you want us to explore, to talk about, to debate about, for Casey to yell at me about.
For Morgan to rant at me about.
But yeah, we totally want to interact with you guys. So make sure that you find us on the socials first. Follow us, interact with us. We totally check it every hour. Not really, but I do get the notification. So eventually we'll respond. But after you find us on the socials and you follow us there, you can follow/subscribe to us pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. If you really wanted to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you could, but we're just not quite as interesting there, I promise. So you'll have more fun listening to us than you will watching me make weird mannerisms at Casey, her being completely embarrassed that she chose to co-host a podcast with me, but it's fine.
No, not at all. I'm just embarrassed at these obnoxiously large headphones that I have to wear.
Nah, she looks really cool right now. She's a pro.
I look like a DJ.
Professional. But anyways, yeah, guys, check us out. Check us out on the socials. Check us out on different places where you listen to us. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. Nothing less. We demand it.
Tell your friends.
Yes. Share us. We're cool too. Yeah. We bring our own straws.
Or if you really don't like us, tell people you don't like to listen to us.
Yeah. Or if you have something that totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Not debates, but
contradicts?
Yes, contradicts something that we said. Let us know. We want to hear it too. We're learning just as you are.
Yeah, let us know about your different perspectives to a point. I mean, we're all about human rights and decency on this channel, or podcast. Why did I say channel?
Yeah. So we have our email set up to do an automatic reply of fuck you if there's too many swears in there. So just...
Yeah, or if you're being a racist piece of shit.
Yeah. And we don't want none of that. We want stuff to talk about what we've actually talked about, factual facts, not opinions on politics or people.
Yeah.
Facts. We're all about the facts, not about
My
the
cats are
opinions.
very mad at these potential trolls.
Already the animals are in an uproar.
But
Fine.
you know, Morgan and I have actually been very productive, and I think it's time we call it a night. So I'm gonna say, sounds good.
Let's do it.
Bye.
Bye.
I wonder if they could hear the hair flips.
I don't know, but I definitely popped my neck in like 10 different places.